Hey, welcome everyone to Mystics Outlook. We got Cardo Dudley Jr. with us. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. Washington Mystics. That road trip didn't go the way I don't think anybody wanted last week, especially them. This week, they lost a tough one past Sunday at home, where we saw them. It was a really deep hole they tried to climb out of against Golden State. They just weren't able to. Ran out of gas late. I know for a minute there, Cardo, I was worried we were headed towards the same thing in this one with the type of start they had. Thought they started a little slow. It wasn't as drastic of a difference as that start on Sunday. But your thoughts on this one? We saw them rally back, and then at times late in that game, they looked to be a little bit more poised in Indiana down the stretch. So just wanted to get your thoughts on this one.
They made shots. Sometimes it's just that simple. They made shots. They got stops when they needed, but they were the aggressor after the first, I'd say about 7 minutes of the game. In the first quarter, they settled in and they started playing Mystics basketball, and then from that point on, it was all them. Again, they got enough stops, but offensively, they was just clicking. It wasn't. I mean, look, they shot 52% from the field for the game, but they shot 47% from deep, which is good. Because even though they were hitting their threes, they didn't shoot more than they should have. Sometimes I feel like they shoot themselves out of games because, they have a cold stretch and they trying to shoot themselves out of the cold stretch, and it's like taking tough threes. It's one thing to take threes within the flow. It's another one when you forcing it doing tough stretches and doing cold spells, and that's what get them in trouble. So I like the 8-17 ratio and efficiency in that. But the main thing is they attack and they got to the line, man. And Sonya and Kiki and Melbourne, they just put their head down. They just attacked the fever. For the game, the Mystics 22 of 26, 84%. The Fever only shot 16 free throws. They were 11 of 16 for 68%. That was the X factor in game, the free throws. And to get that many free throw attempts on the road for a team that's obviously in the playoff mix currently, and you're fighting for your playoff life to try to get back up there in the standings, so you needed this win. That was huge. Our rebound on them 29 to 24. It did pretty much the dirty work, man. And the other thing that has killed them throughout most of the season, that didn't kill them tonight, they didn't give the Fever extra possessions turning the ball over. And that was essential because it was a 2-point game with just a few seconds left in the game. If you give them a few more cracks at it, they're probably up, and that's how you lose. And that's why, having too many turnovers is just, just bad. But they found a way to win, man. But it was just making shots. Let's call it what it is. 20 assists and 29 made field goals. The ball was moving. It was, it was at times scoring by committee. I believe the Fever, when they jumped out on them, they had the lead. Their bench had outscored the Mystics like 14-2 in the first quarter, something like crazy like that. Then the Mystics, once they settled in, the bench came alive, led by Alicia Clark, who had her best game since returning to Washington. 11 points, 4 rebounds, but it was just that, man. It was a wide variety of players that chipped in scoring wise, man. It wasn't just the Rooks with Kiki and Sonya, but Steph had 9. Sugg Sutton had 13. Jade had 7, including the 2 clutch free throws to seal the win late. Ainsley had 7. I said Alicia Clark had 11. Lucy also came on the bench with 2. The only one that didn't score was Madison. This is her first game. You know what I mean? She's just trying to get acclimated. So total team effort, man, and a much needed win, man, because they were fading. They needed something, and I'm happy it came on the road. So now that should tell them like you're capable. Now try to seize it because they got to go for it now. It's not too many games left. I believe what is it, 12, 13, something like in that range left.
Yeah, I think we're down to 12 now after the night.
Yeah, after the night, exactly. All right, so 12. You ain't got much room for error, man. I think about 2 games and you're in 10th place. So I think about 2 games out of 8th. Yeah, I mean, it's a big win because it's going to hit the Fever. Obviously, you elevate a little bit, but you got to keep winning. Can't keep giving games back. Otherwise, it's just going to stay what it is. But all in all, man, big win and a much-needed win for the Mystics.
Yeah, like you said, the biggest part, it was on the road. Now you've done it and you needed this one. Definitely going to have to do that a couple more times in these last 12 games. Also, got to continue this momentum. Got a really big game coming up now on Sunday. Obviously, every game's huge, but the Sparks are one of those teams that are directly in your way, in your path of trying to reach the postseason. Just as you said, total team effort. I just like the way they just didn't seem shook late in the game. They seemed settled. Again on the road. This is another one of those games where it felt like Suge was a little aggressive, and it goes a long way for them. I know we've mentioned that several times this season. And shout out to Jade. I know she missed a free throw. And I was listening to the Fever broadcast, and they're like, "Oh, that's who you need to foul." And at the same time, Jay typically does get she's one of the people that typically gets the ball late sometimes in the inbound. So, she handled her business, and that's what mattered. But I just like the way they fought back and they responded immediately. It wasn't a delayed response. And we've seen at times this year, they'll get here early, and it takes a little bit, and then they respond. Again, going back to a game ago, that response it was a good response, but that response didn't really hit until the third quarter. After initially getting hit in the first, we saw them respond immediately. On the broadcast, I think they spoke with Kiki right after the first quarter, and I liked where she was, and clearly the team was there too. Where I think she told the silent reporter, "Hey, we're just getting our feet wet. It's the first quarter. Now we got another 3 quarters, kind of settle in and get going." And that's what we saw happen. They did settle in, and they came out of there with the dub. But yeah, the free throws on the road, man. You're doing your job. If you're the road team, getting the free throws, that's huge, and like that's big. That is legit, really big piece of that. And as you said, Emily Inksler, it doesn't. I don't think it shows if you just look at your box score watcher. You just look at the points, the glass, moving the ball. She did all the things she brings to the table is on full display in this game, and the Mystics definitely needed every bit of that. And Dawson's coming alive for them when they need her while Kira's out. It's like you said, it's not these huge performances, but they need it. Filling in. Again, as you said, being a vet, stepping in as they need you, and that's huge. You had anything else with this game, or?
Yeah. I don't think people understand how big this win is. It brings them within a game of 8th place. They actually would have been in 9th place if the Sparks had lost, because they would have dropped, but they won, so their game up. The Storm and the Dream play at 10 o'clock. That's a big one, because if the Storm loses that, then the Mystics move up to 9th. You see, well, hold on. Yeah, if they move, I don't know. They might still be up by percentages, because right now Seattle 16-17, the Mystics are 15-18. So if they lose that, they'd be 16-18. So there'd be a half game up on Seattle. But my point is, they're a game, even with them losing. I mean, with them winning and the Sparks winning tonight, they're a game out of 8th, because the Sparks are in the 8th seed. Indiana, with the laws, drop below Golden State, the expansion team that is in 6th place right now. So now Indiana's in 7th, lost the Sparks are in 8th, Seattle's in 9th, and Washington's in 10th. So they're not out of it. And so that game against LA on Sunday, huge. Like, as the rest of the games for the rest of the season, they're huge. But that game right there is huge, because LA has had that number this year. I think it was a stretch with like a back-to-back. They beat them back-to-back, wins early in the season.
And then they beat him. It was before and after the All-Star break.
Yeah. They just got him up out of there, man. And Ricky Jackson had a number on Sonya. So, yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, I done grown up, shorty. Like, you ain't about to do that again. That's one of them games where you got to kind of let it be known what it is, man. So, yeah, Sunday game is big, man. But at least they back one inning, because a few games ago, they about 2-3 games out. It's like, time might be looking forward to the college season, see who they could try to draft, man. But they're back within the thick of things, man. You know where I'm at. I'm always gonna be on the competitive side of things. Win. I don't believe in that tanking nut stuff. If you know how to scout, you can find quality players anywhere up and down the draft. And if you win and you already got the players you need, you just try to fill in holes on your roster, man. So win. You want to become a team where players want to target as far as coming in for free agency. Being a winning team and having a winning culture will help matters. Instead of them like, why would I want to go there where losing is accepted? And, almost like a strategy. What we working for? Why I'm just wasting years off my career. You know what I mean? So, it should be fun, man. But yeah, definitely. Because I want to see, if all things work out, I want to see the Mystics again the playoffs because these young players need that experience. They need to feel that. And me and you both know from covering not just the WNBA playoffs when they won the championship for years, even the NBA playoffs, it's a different animal. It literally, when you walk in the building, it's just a different feeling. When the playoffs come, it's like, whoa, all right. Even though you're playing against a team you done played up a few times, it's hard to explain. It's just different. It's just different.
Yep. I was about to say, it's a perfect way to say it. It could be a opponent you're super familiar with, but this isn't then. It's not remotely the same at all. But now I'm with you. Again, it's cliche as it is. If they take care of business, they got a good chance. You get some help. You don't think about the help, of course, but like you brought up the example of the help that can happen tonight. If Atlanta takes care of Seattle for them tonight, that's a big favor for Washington. But it would have meant nothing if you lost in Indiana tonight. So handle your business. Handle your business on Sunday. And then they got a big week coming up, period. It's a huge week.
Yes.
From Sunday to Sunday, honestly. So this is what you have right now.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was saying
go ahead.
I was gonna say we've been saying for a while this stretch will determine the season. But this stretch coming up for real will determine the season. Like ain't it like for real. Like if they 1-3, 1-4, something like that, it's over. You can't recover from that. Because teams gonna be way too far up on the standings. They're gonna be 4 or 5 games up, with like 4 or 5 games left. That's just too much ground to cover, man. You got a big one on Sunday against the Sparks. You got the Sun on Tuesday at home. You should win that. They're lottery round. Then you got another game against the Sun against the Thursday. You should win that. But then Asia come to town. Then the Storm come to town. Then you gotta go up to New York and the Liberty trying to get right. And then the Valkyries is another team along, and then you close out this month with the Sparks. So
you want to talk about opportunities, though. So
yes,
you have a chance to yourself remove the Sparks from your path. You have a chance. It's up to you. That's the opportunity you have. As you mentioned, it's a bunch of playoff teams, man. And a couple games, it's going to be what it's going to be, but you have a great opportunity. Up in the playoffs, man. Great opportunity. And clearly, what's being made clear is that this regime's going forward with who they believe is their core, which is the youngsters they brought in this year, along with Shakira, if that's going to be your core. Back to your playoff point, it's even more important for them to get that playoff experience. Get that immediately. Hit the ground running next year with this super young team. And there's not a game we've watched this year where it's not mentioned at least 6 times about how young this team is as a whole. Super beneficial if they get a taste of the postseason.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Player of the game in this one.
Kiki, man. 18-12. Almost shot out 6-8 from the field. Hit a 3. The range is expanding right before just steady progression throughout the season. That's what you want to see, man. And special rookie. That's why she was also along with Sonya, man. But that double was mean. She going toe to toe as a rookie boy, Aaliyah Boston, and with Natasha Howard down there speaks volumes.
For sure, no arguments there at all. I was gonna say that's a very tough front line. That's a hell of a duo they have over there in Indiana in the front court, and that's what you did to him. X factor on this one.
Man, I'm I'm gonna have to get an edge to Emily. I was looking at the leash. I'm gonna have to give it to Emily. 7 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks. Stuff the stat sheet. They needed every bit of it, literally, because they only won by 4. They needed all of that, man. Yeah, she did it all, and that's her game. Just dirty works, stat sheet stuff, man. Like just you're gonna feel her in a variety of ways, man. And that's tough to game plan for because she's not a player like you. All right, we gonna call a play for her to get shots. She getting her shots within the flow, offensive rebounds, popping open, coming off screens and stuff like that, where you kind of not paying attention. So she's hurting you there. She's gonna go down there and bang, get the rebound. She's hurting you there. She can pass. She understands basketball. She's gonna get you about 3 or 4 assists. Then defensively, she's a menace. 3 blocks and 3 steals. Hell, you good with that if that's all she did. Like at least she's handling business on that end of the floor. You good with that. But then the total production, man, she's just all around threat, man. So absolutely, man. Her, only 1 turnover. That she was definitely the X factor.
Yeah, and then she was also somebody put a couple fouls on Natasha Howard during the time that she was in there too. Like you said, it's not somebody you game plan for, but just her impact. When you were talking, the first thing I was just thinking was you felt her impact watching the game. You felt it while watching the 7 points or whatever, but you felt her on defense. You felt her on the glass. For as much, credit we give Sonya and others at time helping in on the glass. This wasn't one of those games. They needed every one of those 7 rebounds Emily had tonight. She's second on the team in rebounding tonight. Every bit of it. You were talking about how well the ball was moving. 4 assists. And then, obviously, 3 steals and 3 blocks is dumb. Like, if you just came off the bench, 3 steals and 3 blocks, hey, man, you gave us stuff. But to impact the game in nearly every facet, shout out to her for that, and they definitely needed it. We had a couple comments. Area 11T, a big time win with big time performances from our 2 potential stars is a nice way to cap off Friday. Great win.
I mean, to me, they're already stars. When you're an all-star, you're a star. It's just the next level. The next step is trying to become a superstar. You know what I mean? Like I said, you at the top of where they are at the top of everybody's scouting report, but league-wide, where it's just recognized you're one of the best. You one of the ones where basically you being in consideration for the Olympic team. That's when you one of the ones. You know what I'm saying? So that's the next step for them. But hell of a rookie season. This is exactly when you draft. This is exactly the type of impact you're hoping to get from rookies. Hoping. You know what I mean? And they just continue to get better and better, and they figuring it out, man. Super special rookies. Just think about the mental toll coming straight off of college, drafted, getting right in training camp, starting the WNBA. You ain't had a break. You ain't had a break since last summer. Like, let's call it what it is. You in school for summer break and all that. And last season, you come right into the pros. You ain't had a break, but you're getting it done, man.
Following that up, like seeing those 2 figuring it out as top options. The key is showing some potential range with the 3. First made 3 of the year, as Cardell said. Once again, clearly been working on it. Knock that down.
Yeah, just knock it. You don't gotta shoot a high volume of it. Just show the defense I can hit if you leave me out here, which will open up what you do well. And that's the high low post game that she does, man. So but we know she had the ability, the potential to be able to get it out that range because of the way she could shoot from mid range, the turnarounds from the block, over both shoulders, pick and pops, even with her breaking players down off the bounce here and there, getting to her spots in the mid-range and being able to elevate and shoot from there. She has the soft touch, good mechanics, good arc on the ball. She can shoot it. It's just about getting comfortable from that range, you know what I mean? So, but the league better pray it don't become a thing where it's like, when she's trailing like Dolson, they looking for her, and she can hit close to 40%, because then that it just be over then. But yeah, I'm liking how she's continuing to progress, as the season goes on.
The last time we had definitely true when we talk about Emily. Emily's defensive ability is really underrated with her potential on offense.
That's what got on. That's what makes her a WNBA player. The offense is a bonus. You know what I mean? 6'1", but her versatility and her tenacity, that's what separates her. Like, she can guard 1 through 4, literally. Not many teams have that luxury. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one thing to be able to have the physical tools to bend somebody that's bigger than you, and probably stronger. You gotta be an animal down there. You just gotta have a will. It's like, I don't care. You're not moving me. Your life gonna be held down here too. We just gonna be knocking the hell out of each other all night. But at the end of the day, you ain't getting nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna win this battle. And that's just a mentality. And that's just something you got inside of you. And she has it. And that's why you saw her make the impact she made today. Because without it, they lose. Plain and simple.
Guarantee is a guaranteed L with her production today. And again, as Cardo just shared, again, we were talking about this big week coming up. Starts with Sunday. Great win tonight on the road, because again, you need every win as we down this home stretch. Really big game against the Sparks. Got a chance to try to get your leg back, because they've the last 2 times out, they had the upper hand. So anxious to see how Washington deals with that, if they're able to respond. And we will talk to you guys Sunday evening, right after they take on the Sparks.